Hello, Jimmy Hudson here from Memphis, Tennessee. I'm now located actually in Columbus, Ohio. Anyway, I've got jimmyhudsonband.com, jimmyhudson.net, and this is actually a new YouTube channel here. And it's mainly, I'm going to be talking a lot about different guitar modifications that I've done and different, just different educational things as well. My other YouTube channel is primarily just me playing with my band and stuff like that, and my little girl. But anyway, without further ado, today I'm reviewing my EVH Wolfgang Special, now made by Fender. They've been Music Man before, they've been PV before, so I guess Fender owns the Eddie Van Halen franchise, if you will, nowadays. This guitar is actually a pretty dang cool guitar. It's made in Mexico, believe it or not, and I think they run for right around $1,000, something like that. And it actually is a very well crafted guitar, and I could be wrong, but my understanding is the main difference between this guitar and the American counterpart is the tremolo. This is a licensed Floyd, and the other one's a real Floyd, something like that. So one of the things that I like to address in these videos on this new channel is the modifications that I do on my guitars, because very few, I think the only guitar that I own actually that I haven't modified in the least bit would probably be my Ibanez Prestige, because it already has my favorite pickup combination, which is the DiMarzio Tone Zone in the bridge and the Air Norton in the neck. Anyway, without getting too distracted on an ADD rant. So yeah, this guitar here, what I did, I've got a very good luthier here in Columbus. His name is Mike Cox. He owns A String Instrument Repair, and Mike modifies all my guitars. He's refretted a bunch of them, and I'm really picky on who works on my guitars. I was Sean Lane's guitar tech for about 8 years, almost 9 really. Anyway, so I'm really picky. I'm used to having that really low action, and very few people can do that, and I just, man, I don't know, but Mike does a beautiful job. He's refretted probably about 5 or 6 of my guitars, actual refrets. This one is actually a brand new guitar, but I had him polish the frets anyway because he does beautiful fret work. And a couple things that I was noticing was that I was having problems keeping it in tune, and the drop D, the D tuna. So what I did was I tightened the living crap out of the springs in the back and had this all the way flush against the body. Now, granted, Eddie Van Halen doesn't play, with the recessed Floyd. I wish this did have a recessed Floyd, because I'm not Eddie Van Halen. He doesn't do what I do, and I don't do what he does. And it's just best left that way, because I'm not Eddie Van Halen. He's not Jimmy Hudson. So anyway, to keep this in better tune, I had Mike install a Fender, what do you call it? One of those trim stabilizers. What's the name of that thing? Anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. It's a Fender. It's a Tremolo Stabilizer that goes in the back here, and it's the cool thing is with this guitar, a lot of Floyd Rose guitars, when you bend the note, they are floating on these 2 screws. So when you bend the note, the whole thing goes out of whack. Or when you break a string live, that can be a nightmare, because the whole guitar goes completely out of whack and there's absolutely nothing you can do. But this guitar, like if I have this note ringing out, theoretically, I should. Oh, I meant, never mind. I've been into that note, so let's see how that note did not fluctuate one bit. So that's pretty cool. So anyway, we installed the trim stabilizer, and then also with his suggestion, instead of having the bridge all the way back, just so I had just a little bit of a leeway to be able to make the bar go up and down, he actually shimmed the neck a little bit. And you can't tell, I mean, it looks like, it's still from the factory and everything, But by putting that shim in there, he was able to get an angle on the neck so we could bring the tremolo up some. And that allows me, I mean, like I said, I don't... That's pretty cool, though, because typically on an Eddie Van Halen guitar, you don't have that. But, I mean, I really like to have that. You know, I like to be able to go both up and down with my modulation and stuff. I find that, you know, important. It's crucial in my playing. So, the pickups on this guitar, badass, all the way. They're well balanced. They sound phenomenal. And it is my understanding from what I've read on the internet, at least, and you know, if you read it on the internet, it's true. No, don't take my word on that one, because you'll believe all kinds of crap. Anyway, these pickups, they're the EVH pickups, awesome pickups, but from what I've read, with this particular guitar, you cannot put a different pickup in there without a little bit of routing as far as a different humbucker. That's what I've read, and I can kind of see it. They're a little bit smaller. So you wouldn't want to do that. You know, this is a really cool finish, and that's something else that I learned the hard way with these matte finishes. Don't use guitar polish or anything like that. I didn't on this, but I did have to clean this switch, and I got that tuner control all over the place on this. And anyway, I had to use soap and water. That's the best thing to do when you have a matte finish guitar, you know, because you don't want it shiny. I mean, and this is actually a pretty slick looking guitar, really. But without further ado, man, this thing really rips. It's got a lot of gain, so clean, you know. That's something that Eddie Van Halen will never play. Probably something I'll never even play again. And then, of course, the bridge pickup on clean, and then with distortion, I just love this thing. Just absolutely rips. That's the neck pickup. So anyway, this is the EVH guitar, the EVH Wolfgang Special, Mexican made, and it is it's built every bit as good as most of my American guitars. So my thing is, my personal opinion, and I've owned a lot of guitars, cheap guitars, expensive guitars. What this says on the headstock does not matter. What matters is, does it feel right for you? And does it sound right? And that actually can be adjusted. There's some guitars that are just like, you know, I don't even want to touch them because it's just not there. But every guitar can be set up, pretty much every guitar. So if it feels right in your hand, you can always raise and lower the action and all that good stuff. And as far as sounding right, within reason, most guitars, and that's the first thing I do on every guitar that I own, except for my Gibsons and my Ibanez Prestige that I talked about earlier. And this guitar actually has killer pickups, but I always yank the electronics, put in my own stuff, This guitar I left alone though. This is actually a very, very good quality guitar. There's nothing beginner line about it. This is a professional grade guitar. It's actually a great guitar. So thank you very much, and remember JimmyHudsonBand.com. And if you're in Columbus and you want guitar lessons, that's what I do. I teach guitar and I play guitar for a living. I toured for a long time and I've taught for many, many, many years. And anyway, I specialize in intermediate, advanced, and professional students, well, players. And I can help you get out of being stuck in the box. Thank you. Good night.